Welcome. We are visiting different features of justice delivery system. Of these values, we have to be concentrative upon the following four aspects. The first aspect is that we are having an adversary system of justice. The adversary system of justice would mean there would be two parties adverse to each other, and both will be clashing and will be desiring to win over the other. It, in a way, will amount to that party A and party B is contesting with the motive to win the litigation. The motive of the parties as such is not to reach as justice, but the same is being fought with an aim that one is to win, as if it is some sort of a game. But it is being taken in such adverse temperament that in addition to justice in the form of the final adjudication of the litigation, there emerges a very big pool of the features which affect our social, political, and economic system as well. It is this element of disturbance which results as a consequence of the litigation under adversary system, which is to be appreciated as to how we can have full absorption of the adverse effects of such litigations. For it, we have to begin with the preamble of the Constitution of India. The preamble of the Constitution of India provides that we have resolved and have adopted and to give us to ourselves the Constitution to ensure justice, social, political, and economic. So our resolve at the outset, as is expressed in the preamble of the Constitution itself, is that we are ensuring a constitution, a constitutional apparatus, a setup of institutions, a setup of laws which will ensure social justice, political justice, and economic justice to all. Once this is the ideal, that there is to be a social justice for all, there is to be a political justice for all, and there is to be economical justice for all, then in this background, when we re-evaluate our justice delivery system, which in a way can be said to be the judicial resolution of disputes between the individuals. So citizens which are vested with the fundamental rights, citizens which are vested with the fundamental duties, when come in clash with each other, when appear before the system, before the judicial system, before the courts, with their causes as litigations, the resultant litigation between two or more individuals as citizens, the practical outcome of final adjudication comes in the form of a judgment which is as a decree or as a judgment of conviction or acquittal. And that essentially is having effect upon the parties to the litigation. However, we know that each individual is a member of a family, each individual is a member of a civil society, each individual is a citizen of the state. So, family, civil society, and state cannot be taken to be not interested or not affected by the litigation which is in favor of one body and which is against another body. Therefore, we have to reevaluate, we have to reassess as to our system built around the concept of adversary system. It is as if that each party to the litigation is to prepare and do all efforts for the one's cause. So it that a way becomes a battle between the citizens. So citizen A and citizen B come in clash. And while A and B are in clash, naturally they will be adopting certain means which may not look like illegal, but certainly those have much effect upon the social fabric, political fabric, and economic fabric of family, civil society, and state on the whole. So, we as students of law, we as law analysts, and we as lawyers have to revisit the distinct features of this adversary system of justice delivery between clashing citizens on the one hand and the ideals of the Constitution of India, well documented, well enshrined, well expressed in the preamble of the Constitution itself. Therefore, when we as lawyers are representing the parties, then we are accepting a dual role. The first role and responsibility of the lawyer when gets engaged for a particular party comes to be that he is to represent and he is to safeguard the interests of the party on whose behalf he has accepted the brief. But simultaneously, the other role and responsibility of the advocate remains intact, as that while he will be before a court, then he is officer of the court. So this dual status, dual role, dual responsibility of a counsel to remain safeguard individual for a party and also being the officer of the court. So in an adversary system, it is not only that A and B clashing parties are there, but they have their legal experts, professionals, advocates as well. And both the advocates with their dual status or to play their role, and very delicate balance is to be drawn by each advocate between his dual status responsibilities. This, as such, is bringing in certain factors which deserve to be appreciated properly, as it is in terms of our appreciation of these effects of the adversary system of adjudication that we ultimately will be face to face with the reality of the adverse effects of each litigation on the fine fabric of the family, civil society, and state, and also well within the social, political, and economic justice domains. This, as such, makes a very big area of research, very big area of analysis, very big zone of features and values whose timely and continuous analysis deserves to be maintained, as it is only by having continuous evaluation of adverse effects of each and every individual litigation upon the fine fabric of the families of the adverse parties, upon the civil society of which these adverse parties are members, and also upon the state of which these adversary parties are the citizens. And in this context, when we will be having a large number of litigations, or in a way, the total litigations, then we have to be very serious. We have to be very conscious. We have to be fully alive to the effect of these litigations upon the social fabric and social values in the context of a social justice, and political fabric, political values, and political justice, and further economic fabric and economic values in the context of the economic justice which is ensured by us in preamble of our constitution. It is in this context that we shall also be face to face with the two distinct but well connected features of our adverse litigation fabric. One is the execution part, and another is the education part. Each litigation as end fruit results into a civil court decree or judgment of conviction and acquittal of the criminal court. Now, these decrees and these judgments are to be executed. Now, execution part of such end fruits of adverse litigation system are very, very painful domains. Execution, in fact, is the end surgical operation of the litigation. The litigation is between adverse parties, and execution is going to be against one of the parties. And when that execution is done by the state machinery through the process of the law, then it becomes a surgical operation. This surgical operation is having natural consequences, as it is bound to be painful for the party upon whom this operation is to be conducted. The other part is the education. Law literacy as such is not ensured. Citizens are being conceived as individuals of equal literacy index, while the fact is otherwise. It is this imbalance of law education, it is this imbalance of literacy and illiteracy of law in the society, which in itself is the aspect which deserves to be appreciated fully, and same also deserves to be faced, while we will be appreciating, while we will be evaluating, while we will be justifying the adverse judicial delivery system accepted by us. Here in this context, though by this time the right to education has become a fundamental right, and this will imply that law education as well becomes a fundamental right. But how this fundamental right is to be implemented is a big question before us. To imbibe the values of the latest interpretations of law by the courts is a feature with which each and every litigant cannot be expected to be potent enough. But as far as we, the liars, are concerned, for us it becomes imperative that we shall imbibe the values of the latest interpretations of law by the courts. To update this value imbibing process, we as individuals have to invent our own means. How we are successful to update imbibing process of the latest authorities of the courts is one's own index of one's growth. Likewise, parallel to it, we have to be up to date with the amended laws. The laws are being continuously updated. It is this updating in the form of amendments or new enactments which is the process to which we have to be parallel. Therefore, the liars at all phases and stages of their practice are to be equally conscious and equally alive to this updating requirement of law literacy. So from law literacy back to the way the families, the civil societies, and state shall absorb the adverse effects of the individual and collective litigations is the feature, is the value, is the challenge which we have to accept. However, the system as such is at present not equally prepared, and it is this non-preparedness of the system which is causing a concern. How to meet it, how to approach it is a challenge before us, and we individuals and we as small groups and we as collectives, professional bodies shall attend and approach it with an urge to find a proper answer as to how the adverse effect of each and every litigation reached at a ultimate end fruit as the fruit of adverse litigation tree. The word of caution is that we as practicing advocates have to invent our own method to discharge our dual responsibility in a proper way. Or we can properly protect the rights and interests of the party on whose behalf we have been engaged, and our legal and moral responsibility as officers of the court. These are the challenges, but these are the blissful values, and to reach and strike a fine balance between the two is going to be the ultimate index of our personality. Thank you very much.